So Madeline Soto's grandmother admitted she was a little girl with a lot of fears who could not sleep alone.
I think she can do that. She's a kid, like with many fears, so much so that she does not sleep alone, and I do not believe she can leave or run away, leave her house.
Her grandmother added that this Sunday they were celebrating her birthday and that she did not notice any behavior that could indicate plans to run away.
She was very, very happy. All her little friends from school, which are two little friends, it was very nice. She had a happy time, content, took lots of photos, hugged her family.
Now those words are ringing in my ears and in my mind. So I've been trying to translate all of these interviews. Well, I think her grandmother just gave one interview to Telemundo 31.
But my daughter worked the previous night, Sunday, and it seems she woke up very tired and told her boyfriend to bring her. That's
and
it.
now they are not going to wake up in the campaign. I am not carrying and cannot decide.
Always mine. And in the church's chambers, they see a girl with a green sweater where she sits in the parking lot for a while. And a few minutes later, she gets up and heads to school. That's all that is known about her. And with every day that passes, it gets worse. One loses hope after almost 3 days missing. We don't know what else to do.
Subtitles by theamara.org.
In my mind, someone took her.
Maddie's grandmother, Yolanda Zambrano, gave at least one interview I can find. I can only find chunks of it, to Telemundo 31, to a reporter. It was February 28th, basically the third day that Madeline was missing. She had not been found yet. As much as I've tried and I've been translating and having it dubbed into English, we can listen to the whole thing again.
I think she can do that. She's a kid, like with many fears, so much so that she does not sleep alone, and I do not believe she can leave or run away, leave her house.
Her grandmother added that this Sunday they were celebrating her birthday and that she did not notice any behavior that could indicate plans to run away.
She was very, very happy. All her little friends from school, which are two little friends, it was very nice. She had a happy time, content, took lots of photos, hugged her family. But my daughter worked the previous night, Sunday, and it seems she woke up very tired and told her boyfriend to bring her. That's
and
it.
now they are not going to wake up in the campaign. I am not carrying and cannot decide.
Always mine. And in the church's chambers, they see a girl with a green sweater where she sits in the parking lot for a while. And a few minutes later, she gets up and heads to school. That's all that is known about her. And with every day that passes, it gets worse. One loses hope after almost 3 days missing. We don't know what else to do.
Subtitles by theamara.org.
In my mind, someone took her.
But I'm wondering, where's the entire interview? The most I can find is about maybe a minute total. And the part that really gets me is when Yolanda is saying that Madeline was so afraid she couldn't sleep alone. This interview I found was from February 28th, 2024 at 7:31 p.m. on Telemundo, and it's titled Search for Minor Madeline Soto Missing in Hunters Creek Extended to Kissimmee. I don't really know what the reporter asked Yolanda prior to the clip of her interview starting. I think she was in her own office behind a desk. She does look exhausted. Some people have commented, calling her, just stoic and cold. They expected her to be falling apart more. Both her and her daughter, both Jennifer and Yolanda, have come off in ways that viewers think they wouldn't come off. People are analyzing it. We have nothing else to do but research into this crime and the family until potentially there's another arrest. There might be, there might not be. Today is Friday, March 8th, as I film this. And sometimes there are a lot of arrests on Friday, but I just checked Vine link, and the only person I still see in custody on this case, related to this case, is Stefan Stearns, 13-year-old Madeline Soto's stepfather, as they call him, even though he was just her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend. So Yolanda is describing, I think she can't do that. I think she's talking about Maddie would be too afraid to run away, because she says she's a kid like with many fears, so much so that she does not sleep alone. And I do not believe she can leave or run away, leave her house. So that part is pretty chilling in the wake of what we know now in terms of Stefan being arrested, in terms of all the crazy things found, horrific on his phone, in terms of us. It's basically all but said that he has been mistreating, I shall say, Maddie for at least 2 years. But he's known her longer than that, so we don't really know how long he's been mistreating her. Was he mistreating her before he put the evidence into a video, as described by police? Even though they have not specifically named Maddie as his victim in that particular circumstance, the victim does share the birth date with Maddie, so we can pretty much assume it's the same girl. Was he abusing her even longer than 2 years and just only started putting it on video for a certain time period, as noted in his arrest warrant? So the arrest warrant comes with some dates, and those dates of the evidence they found were in 2022 to 2023. But that doesn't mean that's the only time period, unfortunately, that he may have been touching her inappropriately, doing all this crazy stuff. So now these words of Maddie's grandma are really resonating with me. Why couldn't this 13-year-old girl sleep alone? Now, as far as Yolanda knew or may have been told, maybe she was told that by Jen. Maybe Yolanda was told by Jen, you know, Maddie is so scared at night, she hates sleeping alone. And Maddie may have had her reasons of fear of Stefan, and maybe Maddie just told her mom, I don't like sleeping alone, please sleep with me, Mom. That could be one scenario. Again, still trying to stay as neutral as possible, but I think at this point it looks pretty detrimental for Jen Soto to claim ignorance about everything that was going on potentially with her daughter being mistreated by her boyfriend. In fact, as we saw also in the previous video where I did the dubbing, it was a few of Maddie's friends went on camera and they did talk about Maddie telling one of them, this little boy Joseph, her best friend, that in 2022 she said her stepfather was very mean to her. Now that's pretty sad. And despite all that, he still said she had a smile on her face all day, shining like a star. And he tries to talk about when he saw that message, I thought it was like, you know, there's a lot of interruptions. I understand these news programs, they only have, I guess, room for a certain amount of snippets. It gets really edited up and we don't get to see the full breadth of an interview. That's why I really want to see Yolanda's full interview if I could find it anywhere. If anyone knows, please leave it below. Yolanda had gone on to say it was Maddie's Sunday birthday party. She was very happy. All of her little friends from school were there, which are 2 little friends. It was very nice. She had a happy time. She was content. They took lots of photos and Maddie hugged her family. Now, I believe this is the party where we've seen the beautiful blue pictures. God bless that woman for putting those pictures out there of Maddie. She's just so angelic and gorgeous. I believe this is the day of the Sunday party. And I was thinking, yeah, Maddie was probably so happy because she had a reprieve. You know, she was with her friends. She was probably happiest with her friends, away from any abuse, away from that house, away from, you know, we're hearing more stories about people who allegedly knew them, some crazy stories about Stefan, other people not so much. He seemed like a regular guy, just a little quirky. What is normal? You know, it ranges to the really weird and horrible with him. And now in the case of Jennifer, stories are coming out about her being unstable, you know, having to go weep and come back. And she did post certain things on social media about being bipolar or having a certain level of depression and how it was kicking her butt. I know she had her own mental issues too. But again, I just hate that Madeline was at the brunt of this. I feel like no matter what issues adults may have, it's horrible that the kids have to suffer. So that's what her grandma had to say. I wish I could find more of it, but I keep thinking of that part of Maddie does not like to sleep alone. I mean, we've all had our fears. Even as an adult, I've had my times sleeping certain places, and I had to say this scripture over and over and over again. I laid me down and slept. I awoke, for the Lord sustained me. One time in Phoenix, I literally had to repeat that to myself until I fell asleep in a certain situation. So I know what it's like to fear, falling asleep and nighttime and stuff like that. But with Maddie, that's scary. That's sad to me. She does not sleep alone. I mean, did Maddie need someone? Was she crying for her mom to come sleep with her? Who was sleeping with her? Or what's even scarier was it creepy Stefan? Did he use that as an excuse to stay with her? We don't know. We don't have any details. But it's also, I mean, that fear came from somewhere. And the fact that her grandmother brought it up, not saying her grandmother knew anything was going on. I don't even know what her mother knew, if anything, about what was going on. But, you got to say, it is sketchy. Jennifer's interview is sketchy. This whole thing, it's just sketchy. So I wanted to put these out there too. And along with that video we've seen, sleuths in the Facebook group found that Stefan appeared in that Journey into Imagination with Figment ride, Epcot 360 point of view, this guy's YouTube video from July 29th last year, 2023. It appears to show Stefan welcoming guests right into that area. It's like, ugh. It does show us, even though Disney is coming out there saying, yes, he's not an employee. They're being technical. Of course, he's not an employee today, currently. Of course, he's in jail. But they didn't want to go into the fact of, oh yeah, he was an employee here, or maybe he contracted through whatever, and he was at Epcot or Disney or what have you. Of course, they're not going to go into that. They don't want the controversy. Some people interpreted that statement to mean he never worked there ever. Chances are we'll probably end up seeing more videos of Stefan all around Disney. In that video, it sounds like Stefan says, enjoy your tour of our laboratory here today. And also being misinterpreted is the way one reporter said that the videos, those horrible videos depicting a child, performing things a child should not know about on Stefan's phone, it says something about evidence in the background could prove it was taken in the room, in the home that, the three of them, Maddie, Stefan, and Jen, shared. Some people took that to mean, oh, well, they all shared the same room in that home. Well, I don't think that's what the reporter meant, but that's the way some people took it. But it is troubling once we see her grandma say, yeah, Maddie just didn't like to sleep alone. I don't blame the little girl, but what I'm really waiting for is to know how much more Maddie did try and scream out what she was going through, try and tell people, try and tell her best friend, perhaps try and tell teachers, whomever she might have tried to tell. Just like in the case of Audrey Cunningham, they're so similar. They're like two trains running to me. I just feel like there was so much failure around her. And of course, I don't want to point blame where it shouldn't be. It is a learning lesson to really pay attention. Pay attention to children. First of all, stay away from children. If you have a problem, don't try and normalize this situation like some people blew my mind on Twitter today, the way some people are trying to normalize this sick behavior towards children. And secondly, it's about, like one dad said, parents, pay attention to all the children, look out for them and see if someone's trying to touch them inappropriately, and, just to be that go-between, just to be that person who can help, especially save the children. So we kind of wait and see, I plan to move on to other cases too in the meantime, but who knows if there might be forward motion in this case any day now. Stranger things have happened. Cops are being pretty tight-lipped, but we know they are working hard to investigate and get down to the bottom of the real story. Isaiah 43:11, I, only I, am the Lord, and there is no Savior besides me. So God bless Maddie and where she is now, and I hope her truth keeps ringing out, even if she wasn't heard on this earth. No matter who she tried to tell, at least her story is being heard now, and her justice is forthcoming. Thanks for watching.